Yan. Good morning po mga kaagapay. Yan, mag-start na tayo. So, for today's topic po, napaka-interesting ng ating pag-uusapan because I know malapit na po ang pasukan at marami sa atin medyo nangangarag na dun sa preparation natin and not only this opening pero kahit before. And there's a tendency for us teachers na makalimutan minsan ng ating well-being, yung ating health, because we want, of course, the best for our students. Pero for today, sa Kagapay po ating series, October series, we would like to highlight an equally important factor, an equally important topic for us teachers, not only for teachers, but also for students, for parents. It is well-being. Because kapag naubos na po tayo, mas mahirapan po tayo. Diba? Kapag hindi natin inalagaan ang sarili natin, magsasuffer din ang ating mga estudyante. So, the same goes sa mga students, kapag they're very stressed and they're very burnt out dahil sa mga darating na work that they will be having, the assignments and everything. So, hindi na po sila makapag-perform properly. And then, kapag ang mga parents natin, sila rin ay medyo stress or hindi masyado maayos ang kanilang well-being, then maapektuhan rin ng kanilang guidance and how they will be guiding their students or their children along with their relationship within the family. So for today po, ito po na magiging focus natin. Promoting and sustaining wellness of teachers, students, and parents in distance learning. Especially that we are about to begin our school year. Especially sa mga public school. So mag-start na po tayo soon sa Monday. So medyo etong stress level natin tumataas na. So, ito po na pag-usapan natin. And we hope that for this morning, we will be able to give you not only information, but really an active, alive presentation session para po mas ma-address yung mga concerns and mas mabigyan po tayo ng mga tips on how we will be able to be well in facing this coming school year. So, bago po tayo mag-umpisa, so I'll be calling Sir Franco for some of our reminders bago po tayo mag-umpisa. So, Sir Franco, if you can join me para po ma-remind natin ang ating mga kaguruan. Yan. So, habang nantayan si Sir Franco. Yes, Sir Franco. So, good morning, sir.
Magbigay lang tayo ng siguro konting reminders ulit, no? Para sa ating mga, although sa ating mga viewers naman, very usual reminders na to, no? Alam na nila itong mga reminders natin. Okay.
Yan, so habang si Sir Franco, hello sa mga taga Pangasinan, mga watching from Pangasinan. So pwede pa shout out. Ayan.
Dami ng mga anyway, so evaluation reminders, webinar reminders. Evaluation link will be given at the end of the training. Okay, so please wait for that. After answering the evaluation, your certificates will be sent to you by email in 5 to 7 days. No, and reminder lang siguro sa mga teachers natin that those who will be watching live today will get priority no sa ating evaluation. Of course, distribution at provision for certificates. Okay, so please wait for that. Okay, so again, siguro lang and to plug na rin Sir Angelo, no, that we this is a back-to-back webinar for today. So after this, we have the last installment of the September series, which was canceled no last time because of the PLDT concerns. We will finally have the last installment of the September series in the afternoon. But for now, as mentioned by Sir Angelo, let's first have this very important webinar no to take care of the wellness of our teachers, our students, and our parents who are all engaged in distance learning. And so, Sir Angelo, I think we can proceed now with the introduction of our very competent and speakers, no, and guests for today. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Sir Franco. Ayan, so habang ano po tayo, shout out lang sa mga, again, nanonood. So, very, very important po itong ating webinar because we have to take care of ourselves. We have to take care of our well-being as we become, okay, formators, as we become teachers, as we become, okay, parents to our children and also to our children as well. So, yun nga, sabi ni Sir Franco, we have gathered really and tried to tap the best set of, okay, speakers for today. Yeah, so we have 3 speakers for today, and unlike the usual po that they will be presenting individually, this particular session, as we are discussing, actually, their preparation po, the 3 of them, their preparation, grabe po talaga. Saludo po talaga kami. They really worked on the side bago pa po ito, talaga to give the best way for us to have that particular, not only learning, but also the practices of wellness. So, let me introduce our speakers for today. Ayan po. First, okay, we will be having Miss Christine De Leon Alcala. Si Miss Christine De Leon Alcala took up, okay, family ministry and counseling in CEFAM, Ateneo de Manila University, and got her certification as a life coach from the Life Coach Training Institute based on Dallas, Texas. She's a member of the Life Coach Philippines. At present, she works as a life coach to students and teachers of Keys School, Manila. Prior to being certified as a life coach, Christine spent over 19 years as a teacher and as a campus minister. Yan, si Miss Christine, Miss Teen. So, or I often call her Coach Teen. Then we have Sir or Mr. Dan Aburhina. Sir Dan Aburhina is a guidance counselor for almost 20 years in Xavier School. So talagang batikan na po ito in terms of guiding students. He also conducted trainings and seminars here and abroad. He's also a life coach, a licensed values teacher, a Spartan racer, a hiker, and a Starbucks collector. So later po, pag nakita niya si Sir Dan, para lang siyang nasa Starbucks. Kung if you are fond of going to Starbucks, makita parang Starbucks. Parang may hiya po ng Starbucks sa ganda at dami ng kanyang collection. And then we have our last speaker, si Miss Geraldine Ching. Okay? For close a decade now, Miss Je, as we fondly call her, is a lecturer at the Education Department of the Ateneo de Manila, teaching educational psychology. She's also a coordinator for Catholic Education and Ignite School Network for Ateneo Salt Institute. So, kita natin, mga bigatin po ng ating but they're also practicing teachers, they're also practicing wellness in their own realms po. So, I would like to invite now our speakers. Yan. Oh, welcome, Sir Dan. Ayan, parang nahiya ang Starbucks sa ganitong setup. Good morning, Ms. J, and good morning, Coach Teen.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Magandang umaga po sa lahat.
Yan. So ngayon po, again, as we mentioned, it will be an interactive, a live interactive session that we will be asking you to really participate. Kasi maganda po at kung may mga questions po kayo, may mga concerns, may mga gusto nyong tanungin, feel free kasi this will be very interactive and very open sa mga concerns po ninyo. Yun po nung isa talagang goal nung ating mga speakers. So, I think Ms. Je will start. Yan. Bakit kailangan natin ng wellness, Ms. Je?
Correct. Okay. So, magandang umaga po sa lahat, no? Nakikita ko po yung comments natin. Naku, talagang kalat-kalat po pala tayo sa buong Pilipinas.
Yes.
Hindi lang po sa
Pilipinas.
Metro Manila, pero sa buong Pilipinas. And very thankful po kami na yung aming beauty umabot po sa inyo dyan. No? Sana po hindi lagi mang ikalat namin, pero sana po makabuluhang umaga ang makuha nyo sa amin ngayong for the next 2 hours. No? And I like this format very much and we'd like to share this with you because kung hindi niyo po natatanong, kaming apat po kasama po si Sir Franco, we all worked for Savior for a long period of time. No? Si Tintin's 19, Dan is still with them, and I've spent about 12 to 15 years in Savior School. And malami po kaming ideas nanggagaling po sa ganitong paraan, no? Magpapakape po si Sir Dan sa kanyang office. Kung napapansin nyo, lahat po ng mga cups dyan ng Starbucks, depende kung gusto nyo ba sa China, pwede, bubunot lang kayo ng cup ng China. Kung gusto nyo sa Budapest, ganun lang po. At tapos, magkukwentuhan po kami nung aming mga nabasa, nung aming mga karanasan, nung aming mga nasa palaisipan at damdamin, at binabahagi po namin sa isa't isa. Nagbabalitaktakan po kami, sumasang-ayon, nakipag-away, pero pagkatapos po, marami po kami natutunan. So, sana po ngayong umaga, ganun din po ang format na gusto namin ibahagi sa inyo. No? Kaya sabi ni Sir Angelo at ni Sir Franco, fill in the comment page with your questions, with your comments. Makiisa po kayo sa amin habang kami din po ay nakikiisa sa inyo. No? So gusto po naming balikan ngayon yung topic natin today. Promoting, ano na nga ba yun, Sir Angelo? Promoting wellness.
Promoting and
Sustaining
wellness.
wellness. Oo. For the teachers, the parents, and the students. No? Itong promoting wellness for the students and sustaining wellness for the students, teachers, and parents, talaga namang pong importante yan. No? Year in and year out, importante po yan. Pero sa tingin ko po, ngayong taon na to is a very special and unique year. Mas kinakailangan po talaga natin siyang pag-usapan at pagtuunan ng pansin. Okay. Ito pong mga nakaraang 6 na buwan, 7 buwan. Kung babalikan po natin, ano po yung mga naging karanasan natin? Siguro po, hindi na po kaila sa atin lahat na marami po sa atin nakadanas ng pagkabalisa, no? Confusion, pagkalungkot. No? Meron din naman tayong mga happiness in between, pero yung iba po anxious. Marami po nagsasabi, stressed. No? Kung tutusin, ano po ba talaga itong nararanasan natin? No? Of course, we all know that we are still in the midst of the COVID pandemic. Wala pa pong immunization ngayon, wala pa pong vaccine. Kaya nasa gitna pa po tayo. And all our efforts are geared towards really sustaining that. No? Wala po sanang mahawa, hindi na po sana tumaas ang numbers, pero meron po itong epekto sa ating pag-aaral. No? We are in Taagapay, most of us are teachers, no? We are in school. At malaking epekto po ito sa ating school, no? Kasi ang dating face-to-face natin, ngayon po ay naging online, no? So, ito po ay nagdulot ng stress na marami sa atin. Ngayon, tingnan po natin itong sinasabi natin, stress, at ano po yung nadadaanan natin nitong 5 o 6 na buwan. Marami pong mga pagbabasa ngayon na pwede nating balikan at pwede nating tignan sa Google, Pero meron po akong 2 na gustong ibahagi sa inyo ngayon. No? Yung una po yung kay David Kessler. Isa po siyang dalubhasa in grief and grief management, no, grieving. And he said that what we are experiencing at this point, all of us, no, is really a certain sense of grief. It's different kinds of grief at different levels. Iba-iba pong grief at iba-iba pong level, no? Kung titingnan po natin yung grief, no, sa salitang Tagalog, no, grief, ano po ba yung pakahulugan niya? Ano pa ba yung equivalent word niya, no? Nandyan yung pagluluksa, no? Andyan yung lubhang kalungkutan, no? Nandyan din po yung pag-grief po, parang pagdanas ng hindi pareho. Parang may nawala sa atin. Sabihin ng iba, para pong may butas yung puso ko, no? Para pong lagi akong naghihina, no? So those are all, whatever we're experiencing right now, sabi po ni David Kessler, that is really grief at different levels, no? And totoo naman na mararamdaman talaga natin yon dahil sa isang iglap, para pong nagbago na yung mundo natin. Our world has changed. Our lives have changed, no? Dati po pag ganitong mga buwan ng Oktubre, Bare months na, no? Excited na tayo. Nag-iisip na tayo kung ano yung mga gift natin na pwedeng ibigay sa ating mga estudyante o sa ating mga kaibigan, sa ating mga mahal sa buhay. Pero ngayon, parang delayed po lahat. Hindi po tayo makaabot doon. Kahit po si Jo Marie, nagpipilit pa pong ikanta ang kanyang mga Christmas carols, no? Na tinatanggap naman natin, parang nagbago na po yung epekto sa atin. Di po ba? Iba na di ba? Yung dati sa ganitong panahon, we are really in the middle of our activities with our students, no? Nagkakalipas na yung buwan ng wika, naghahanda na tayo ng kung ano-ano activities natin. But right now, we are on the online platform, and for some of us, papasok pa lang po tayo this coming Monday. No? So ganun, talagang may nagbago. And these changes would really lead all of us to being stressed out. Stress. No? Ano po ba yung stress? Ano po ba yung mga toxic na sinasabi natin? Ano po ba yung mga pagod? Yung mga lungkot? Yung mga pinag-aalalahan natin? Yung mga inis? Kanino po ba tayo naiinis? Pagka sinuntok po ba natin si COVID, mawawala po ng konti yung inis natin? Diba? So, lahat po yun talagang nararanasan natin. Pero ang sinabi po ni David Kessler, if we can name the stress, no? Pag mabigyan po natin ng pangalan yung inis natin, there is a chance and perhaps we will be able to manage it better. No? Kung alam natin at malay tayo sa ating nararamdaman at ano ang pinanggagalingan ng mga nararamdaman natin, mas makakatulong tayo dito. No? We will better deal with this if we can identify it, if we are more conscious kung malay po tayo. Sabi po ng isang dalubhasa, si Thomas Hubble, sabi niya that when we are experiencing stress, no, pag nakakaranas daw tayo ng stress at matinding stress, what we do so that we can go on is to intellectualize it and not to mind our inner selves. No? Pagka nakakaramdam daw tayo ng matinding stress, kailangan tayong mag-go on, di ba? Bilang mga teachers, no, kahit umulan, bumagyo, the show must go on. Kahit masama pakiramdam natin, the show must go on. And if we experience stress, what happens to us is because we want the show to go on, because the show must go on, we intellectualize it. Hindi na po natin pinapadaan sa puso natin at damdamin natin dahil takot po tayo na mapanghinaan po tayo ng loob. O baka hindi na po tayo makapag-move on at makagawa ng mga bagay na dapat natin gawin kung tayo po ay makikinig lang sa ating nararamdaman. Pero ang sabi rin po ni Thomas Hubble na sa panahong ito, importante na maging aware tayo sa ating nararamdaman. Hindi po natin siya pwedeng palampasin. Kasi kung palampasin po natin, hahabulin po tayo at hahabulin. Lalo na po sa panahon ng pandemya. No? It will run after us. And when it reaches us, pag nahabol po tayo, baka po mahirapan po tayo lalong umandar at mag-move on o gumalaw para gumawa ng tama o gumawa ng mga inaasahang bagay sa atin. So ngayong umaga, it's really a time for ourselves, no? Pakikinggan din po natin yung ating sarili habang subukan po nating sama-sama po nating tugunan or harapin itong mga stress na nararamdaman natin, no? Kaya ito yung mungkahi kong gagawin natin, no? What I want you to do at this point is to identify the things that are stressing you, no? Ano po ba yung mga bagay na toxic? Ano po ba para sa inyo? Ano po ba yung mga bagay na stress para sa inyo? And we would like to encourage you to write it in the chat box, no? Doon po sa comments, no? At babasahin po namin 'yan, no? So pwede niyo na pong simulan ngayon ang pagsulat ng inyong mga stressors at mga natotoxic kayo na mga bagay, no? Huwag po kayo mag-alala, atin-atin lang po to. Hindi po ito lalabas sa StreamYard na ito. So feel free to be yourself, okay? This is a safe place for us, no? At tatalakayin po natin 'yan sa abot ng ating makakaya. Hindi lang po kami yung mga speakers dito, kayo rin po, pwede po kayong mag-comment at talagang we encourage you to say your feelings this morning, ha? So sige po, naku, sabi po ni
Ako
Sir
meron na
ni
agad.
pera. Naku, Sir Dan, kayang-kaya mong tugunan yan, yung pera yan.
Ako nangangailangan ng pera.
Salamat po. Okay. Sige po. Okay. So, sana po magpasok po kayo no ng inyong input para po maganda rin yung ating talakayan natin. So, tayong tatlo siguro or si Sir Angelo din, no? Ano po yung mga stress na nararamdaman natin? No?
Before we proceed, I would just like to pick up dun sa isang comment ni Mr. Roel Fortuna na stress is talagang part of one's life, no? But yung regular exposure to stress could lead to a stressful life. So that's why very important na we know how to deal with stress because stress is always there, will never be gone. But the way we deal with it will help facilitate yung normal being natin. And actually, not all stress is bad. Sometimes stress could lead us to work harder, work further. So it's just how we see things.
Tama. So, ang maganda rin po yung sinabi ni RJ Espeleta, no? Sabi niya, wala pong everyone's wellness is important. Nobody wants this pandemic to happen. So, let's not blame each other. Totoo po, no? Let's all be more patient and understanding, especially let's help each other to surpass these times. Tama po yan, napakagandang attitude po niyan, no? Kasi very, very positive. Ang kailangan po talaga natin ngayon ay yung positive energy po. And ang ganda po nung sinabi ni RJ kasi talagang pag nagiging mantra natin siya that think positive and no one is to blame, nahahawa po lahat ng mga tao sa paligid natin, no? Nagiging think positive na rin sila. Okay. Yan. Tapos, sige, meron pa ba tayo, Dan?
Luciel mentioned din na stress could not just be situations, but it could also be people around us, okay? Colleagues, admins. So, very much true, no? Kahit na in the good mood ka and then suddenly a stressful person gets near you, parang you get affected with it na din.
Yeah, I agree. Kaya later, good yan na they're able to name all those, all those things. Kasi later we will try to address them. Not all, but mostly kung ano yung makikita nating pattern from the comments of people. Siguro we can start by sharing also our own stresses habang sila yung nagbibigay or nagsusulat ng stress nila. Siguro ako, I want to share during the first few weeks of the remote learning setup. I was so stressed kasi we have to update our internet. So
True.
there was one time na I was having a session. And then yung PLDT man came. Ina-update niya. So sabi ko, I have to ask, maapektuhan ba yung signal or mawawala ba ako ng connection and all. But the PLDT guy naman assured me na, no ma'am, magko-continue po, pwede. Pero yung updated version of your internet will be in the afternoon. But that was legit. I was so scared kasi parang, oh my God, that time slot was for parang devoted for that session, tapos mawawala ako. So I think hindi lang ako yung naka-experience nyo, no, yung internet connection na nakaka-stress talaga kasi hindi natin alam kung kailan siya, kung mawawala ba siya, 'di ba? Parang that was stressful.
That's true.
Siguro ako naman yung stress ko naman is really related with the dual work and roles that I'm doing, no. I am a mother of two, a wife of one. O isa lang po yung asawa ko, no. Kasi isa lang masakit ng ulo, ayoko nang dagdagan, di ba?
Nakaka-stress.
Nakaka-stress. Oo, tama, correct ka dyan, Tin. Oo. Pero no, joking aside, no, totoo po yun. Isa lang po ang asawa ko, no. Siyempre, dati po, hindi po kami magkakasama sa bahay kasi everybody goes to work. Nagsasama-sama lang po kami pagkagabi, no? So, when we eat together, when we watch TV, parang fun time and relaxation time. But now that this pandemic has happened, ang nangyari po, most of us we're spending most of our time po dito sa bahay. So, alam niyo po minsan, pag lalo po kayong magkasama ng 24/7, parang lalo pong mas marami kayong nakikitang magaganda at di ka nais-nais sa isa't isa, no? So, as a wife and as a mother, your roles have also changed, no? Kasi dati pag nasa school na sila, kumbaga hindi na ikaw yung uncle nila, no? But now that they're at home, syempre kahit papaano you feel responsible, no? Hindi naman po ako ang nagluluto, hindi ayaw po nila akong payagang magluto, pero at least iniisip po natin yung ano po yung itutulong ko kay ate, ano po yung maitutulong ko sa mga anak ko when they do their work. Ano ba bang pwedeng gawin sa bahay? Kailangan mas malinis siya ngayon because everybody's here. So, nandyan po yung naglalaba ka, nagluluto, nag-iisip po kayo at paggawa ng lesson plan at pagpasok po sa isang online platform na hindi po natin alam. Kailangan po nating matutunan yung Zoom. This StreamYard is fantastic pero kinakabahan po kami kasi hindi po namin alam paano mag-work, no? And all our lessons na itinuturo sa college, we have to now modularize it, no? Medyo mahirap po. So, we spent May, June, and July doing that. At talaga po namang napakasakit po sa ulo, napakasakit po sa mga mata natin, no? And somehow, parang yun po yung mga stress na we're really dealing with at this point, no? Na hindi natin may iwasan dahil learning has to go on. The show must have to go on. And alam ko po na bilang guro din kayo, yun po yung mga isa na nakikita nyo, no? Na we need to change our platform and at the same time, we need to deal with our co-workers in this platform, no? Yung harap-harapan na nga ako ang hirap eh, 'di ba? Ito pong platform madali po tayong magka-misinterpretation, no? So, mas nakaka-stress po talaga. Alam ko pong naiintindihan nyo yung dinadaanan ko rin. So, thank you for listening. Parang ako po yata natulungan nyo.
Siguro I want to share also, no, based from my conversation with the teachers, parang very strong sa kanila yung wanting to still excel kahit sa gantong platform na minsan nakakalimutan natin dahil bago itong platform na to na baka marami pang mistakes, baka we cannot perform the way we perform, 'di ba, during those times na nasa physical setup tayo. So it adds stress kasi parang feeling mo same expectation pero nami-miss out natin na ibang paraan itong ginagawa natin. Tapos siguro isang common din na naririnig ko, no, when I have my chats with the teachers. Parang nasa stress sila dun sa idea that they can't get through their students. Iba kasi, 'di ba, pag nakikita mo sila physically, and parang yung issue nila na magiging close ba kami ng mga students ko this year? Will I be able to really know their context? Parang ang hirap-hirap when I face the screen, para silang mga zombie, lalo na pag morning, parang wala talaga lifeless, parang nakatitig lang sila sa screen. So parang ikaw din as a teacher, nagda-doubt ka, am I getting through? Parang enough pa ba yung ginagawa ko for them? But again, no, parang give yourself time to be kind to yourself. This is a different setup, and we have to consider that hindi madali yun. Siguro yun, no? Hindi madali to really build relationship in this kind of setup, pero hindi naman imposible. Diba? Hindi imposible.
Maraming salamat, Dan, before you go ahead. Maraming salamat po kay Miss Laila Laila Sevilla. Kasi po, nakarelate po siya sa atin na syempre yung
Na ano,
Yung
na maraming wife or isang ano?
recording names, sending emails to hundreds of students because that is the mode, no? Hindi naman natin sila nakikita araw-araw. Ang hirap nun. Dati kasi
Yeah.
1 plus 40 ka agad. O, ito gawin nyo ngayon. You have to send names using softwares and apps with confidence, preparing lessons, online discussion. Ramdam na ramdam po naman. We feel you, Miss Laila Sevilla. So, salamat po. At galing po kay Binibining Ligaya, teachers are also adjusting during this pandemic. Totoo po, no? Hindi hindi ko po rin alam po yung nararamdaman ko seeing the students express their feelings through the social media. Miss Binibining Ligaya, shout out po. Baka po pwedeng sabihin niyo sa amin kung ano po ang nararamdaman ng mga estudyante niyo that makes you feel stress. Sir Dan?
Siguro yung, sige, go Dan.
Okay, so getting from Je and Tin, no? So we have stressful parents, we have stressed teachers, and of course, we also have stressed students. So sa Xavier, we've started school last July 22. So I was able to talk to most of them and check kung ano ba yung tingin nila dito sa bagong situation natin during the pandemic. So prior dun sa pandemic, we have stressed teens already, di ba? May mga incidents na tayo ng mababang level ng resilience, mga students na suicidal, would easily give up. So another game changer pa tong COVID-19 that added to the stress. Then kasi yung usual routine nila talagang nabago. So based on the interviews dun sa students, na-stress sila kasi number one, it's a new situation. So it's a kind of new setup. So a lot of things are unknown. So hindi sila sure kung makaka-cope up sila. So especially sa public schools, may mga demands on modules, gadgets, and not everyone is equipped with that. And then yung readiness and preparedness nila, kung makaka-attend ba sila sa lesson, and yung factor ng socialization. So syempre, pag nandun ka sa level ng high school, gusto mo kausap mo yung ganitong mga barkada mo or may kasama ka sa class, you know, where you are standing in the lesson. Pero this time, it's just you and the computer. So, interview ko nga dun sa isang student ko. He got lost in the lesson. And since he got lost, hindi na siya nakaka-catch up kasi wala na siyang seatmate na mapagtatanungan. Not to mention na kung may stress din yung teachers tsaka yung parents, merong second-hand stress na tinatawag. So, we absorb that. By the mere presence of a stressful person or a stressful situation, we get stressed. So, ito yung mga things na kailangan nating i-address.
Okay. So, basa pa tayo sa kanilang mga sinasabi. Well, talagang feel na feel nila tayo, Dan. Tuwang-tuwa ako. Feel na feel din namin po kayo, no? Yung mga nagsasabi about stress sa lessons, struggles, paperwork. One of the things that this online platform is telling us is hindi lang po pwedeng 100% online, no? Dapat yung sinasabi nilang blended learning, wherein you would have some asynchronous sessions, no? And some synchronous sessions, yung may isa o dalawang periods na magkikita-kita po lahat ng mga estudyante at ang kanilang mga teachers, and then there would be a lot of asynchronous sessions, which means yung module po natin talagang nakahanda na po for the next week or for the next 2 weeks until you meet your students asynchronously. Pero meron din pong third level na sinasabi na kung doon po sa mga estudyante na walang Wi-Fi at internet connection, we really need to prepare hard copies of our lessons so that they can catch up or they can at least do learning. Yun po nakaka-stress out din po talaga. No, because it means that aside from managing your space in the internet, where you will in the learning management system, kung saan po nila ibibigay or i-conduct yung lesson nyo, inaalala niyo pa rin po yung pag-print ng mga papel na ito at paano po makakarating sa mga bata at paano niyo po makakausap yung mga batang walang internet connection. So, totoo po na talagang stressful siya. Later on, we will talk about things that are within our control and things that are really not within our control already. And maybe later on, pwede nating tingnan siya in that light, no? Okay, so very good. More positive, more positive thinking. Okay, and marami din po nagsasabi ng poor connection. Okay, ito po yung sinasabi ni Binibining Lagaya na ang rants daw ng mga bata ay yung poor connection, and nasa-stress daw siya for them because it makes me feel sad na hindi lahat nakaka-join sa online class. Yes, ma'am. That feeling is shared by not only you, but all of us. No? We're talking about our students, pero sa totoo lang, hindi rin po lahat tayo mga guro we have good Wi-Fi or excellent Wi-Fi connection, no? So some of us talagang very frustrating kasi nandyan po yung handang-handa tayo. We're ready to face our students. Alam na po natin yung mga gimmick no, sa internet. Tapos bigla pong wala po tayong connection o umulan po ng malakas, wala na pong connection. So, yes, these are really very frustrating and we will go back to that. No? Ano po ba yung nasa control natin at ano po pa yung wala sa control natin. Sige, sir, meron pa po ba kayong nakita?
Yung mga environment natin, no, beyond our control yan. So kung tumatahol yung mga aso natin, aso ng kapitbahay sa background habang naglalase tayo. So medyo stressful din siya, no? But I think because of the situation now, people are more understanding also na kung ano ba yung kaya nating i-control tsaka hindi. Pero it varies, di ba, Miss Je? From case to case. So it could be beyond your control, but in another person, it could be within their control.
Okay. Sige po, keep your reactions coming in at sana po later kung meron pong mas focus na questions kayong tanungin, we will be ready to take them in for question and answer regarding may nag-comment po sa inyo about stressful parents. Naku, totoo po yan. Si Tintin po stressful parents.
Siguro, at idadagdag ko lang, no? Siguro yung pinaka-nakaka-stress din talaga. And ako, I have to say that this is one of my kasi when I say I'm home, iba yung feeling, 'di ba? Before parang shut down na yung work and all, but to lose that boundary between work, your work office, your workplace, and your home, nakaka-stress siya. So parang feeling mo, where do you go for rest? Parang anytime, parang, tapos you're exposed also. Your house is exposed. Parang lahat yan. Feeling mo, part siya ng new normal and all. But for someone like me who really values boundaries, it stresses me out. I'm not saying that people are not welcome in my home and all, but my home is parang very sacred yan for me. It's a place for me to rest with my family and all. Ngayon nag-mixed up na siya. And parang it's good to also identify if the stress is also coming from that aspect.
That's true, no? Na-blur na yung lines, okay, ng home and work. So nagtuturo ka pero expected pa rin ng family mo dahil you'll cook lunch for them. So ang daming tasks.
Correct.
And then so dapat more organized din natin. Later we'll go to that.
Okay. Sige. So siguro ano lang natin itong portion natin para bigyan lang natin siya ng kung tawagin natin ay big ideas or mga ideas na talagang lumitaw dito sa ating maikling pagbabahagian, no? Unang-una, lahat po ng emotions natin ngayon, no? Yung feelings of frustration, naaawa tayo sa ating mga sa estudyante o sa ating kapwa-guro na mahina yung internet connection. Yung inis natin sa internet connection na yan, di ba? Na bakit pa kung umulan lang, nawawala na rin siya, di ba? Parang ganon. Lahat po yan ay valid. Wala pong makakapagsabi sa atin na ay nako, masama kang tao dahil wala namang kalaban-laban ng internet connection, inaaway mo, no? Hindi po ganoon. Lahat po ng pagkainis natin, pagkayamot natin, all of these things that we're feeling are really, really very valid. And thus, all the stress that we are feeling, totoo po at valid, no? Wala pong makakapagsabi na, uy, parang mas malaki yata ang stress naming mga guro dahil ganito kami. Teacher na nga kami, trabaho kami, tapos ano pa kami, nagluluto pa kami, wala po. Or ang parents, mas malaki kasi naghahanap buhay kami. Tapos, o students, kayo nga, higa-higa lang kayo dyan. Lahat po, pare-pareho pong dumadaan ng stress, especially during this time of pandemic. So, gusto ko lang sabihin na, pag nakanilig po tayo ng ganon, huwag po nating maliitin because all the stress that we are feeling, all the emotions are very valid. Yung pangalawa po na lumalabas at nasabi na rin po ng marami sa ating mga ka-teachers ngayon at mga kaagapay na awareness of these feelings is very very important, no? Yung awareness and acceptance. Sabi nga nung iba, accepting the challenge is very important. Pagka ganun po kasi yung attitude natin, hindi po tayo hahabulin ng takot eh. Kasi handa tayong harapin siya, di ba? So, acceptance is, awareness is very important. Kasi po, pag hindi po tayo aware, ang nangyayari po dyan, hindi po natin namamalayan na nakakain na pala tayo ng ating stress, no? Na pumapangit na po pala tayo, dumadami na yung wrinkles ng mga mukha natin at sa mga noo natin, yung t-shirt po na pala natin na suot minsan baliktad na, no? Sa sobrang stress because we are not aware, no? So, important na tukuyin natin siya na okay, stressed ako today. At okay, tanggap ko yan. Okay. So, ngayon, ano na ang aking gagawin? No? We cannot stay in that moment of stress because iikot-ikot lang yan. No? So, important is the awareness, important is the acceptance, because if we are not aware, hindi din po natin namamalayan na nagiging stress na rin po pala tayo sa mga tao sa paligid natin. So, we ourselves become stress, a stress factor to the other people. Okay. So, at this point, I think it's very important for us to look at the sources of our stress. Okay. Yung dinadaanan po nating mga emotion, mga stress, yung mga factors na yon, kailangan po natin siyang i-identify kung ito po mga stress na to nasa control po ba natin or wala po sa control natin. So siguro, mag 30 seconds tayo ulit, tingnan natin. Magpapatakbo lang kami ng poll. Tingnan po natin kung alin po para sa inyo ang mga stress, ang mga nagdudulot ng stress na wala po sa control natin. Na kahit po anong gawin natin, wala po tayong magagawa. So I'd like to encourage you to type in those answers that you have on top of your head. What are the stress factors that I am experiencing at the moment that are not really within my control? So, kung meron kayo, pakilagay lang po. Yan.
Miss Je, ang difficult boss ba beyond our control?
Ang difficult boss.
Again,
Ang difficult supervisor beyond our control or within our control?
Actually, tinatype ko na nga sa Dan eh. Difficult supervisor.
Kanina may nakita ko na may, I just forgot the name kung sino yung nag-type, na parang sinabi niya, difficult to deal with parents. Diba? May nagsabi. But, ayan, so it's an example of, parang identifying what stresses you out. You're able to identify na nakaka-stress to deal with parents kasi I'm sure those parents are also stressed also, no? Pero, kung iisipin mo, do you really have control over how these people will respond or react? Or may yung mga comment nila mapipigil mo ba yan? Or kung mag-rant-rant sila lagi, mapipigil mo ba yan? So, yun yung isang bagay na nakakainis, nakaka-frustrate kasi parang feeling mo you're working hard and tapos yun pa yung maririnig mo from them na walang affirmation and all. But at the same time, kung iisipin mo, wala ka talaga naman control sa magiging reaction nila. So, yung ganong mindset na iisipin mo, okay, nakakainis, na-acknowledge mo, nararamdaman mo, but at the same time, you can't do anything about it. So, those things can just be placed on the side. Right?
Isama mo na daw si difficult principal. Dan, ikaw po nagpasok nito.
Mabait principal namin.
Ikaw, Angelo, ano masasabi mo?
Yes, yes. Mabait, syempre.
Alam mo, minsan kasi yung mga administrators natin, 'di ba? They also experience certain stress na hindi naiintindihan din
Mm,
ng mga teachers or ng
correct.
mga parents. So, yun yung sinasabi natin kanina na if you're not aware of what you're feeling or how you're feeling about your situation, nagiging stress ka rin sa iba. So,
Mm.
but I also like the point ng isang audience natin nagsasabi na we have to be understanding of one another kasi nga this is a difficult moment for all of us. Ibang panahon siya ngayon. So, kung we will respond the way parang we responded to our situations before, ngayon talaga kailangan maging extra patient, maging
Mm.
extra mag-empathize and all. So talagang yun yung makakabalik sa doon sa reality na wait, okay, maybe I'm using too much of my energy,
Mm.
feeling so stressed and ano ba, na tututusin, wala tayong magagawa. Sige,
Oo.
just put
Oo.
That's
these
And
true.
things aside.
oo. Ang hindi natin just to add, hindi natin, it's not in our control to have a difficult principal or to have a difficult workmate or a supervisor. But in a way, we can, ang nasa control natin is how we manage our reaction. No?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
kunyari, alam nating padating na itong si toxic na kaibigan natin, na ka-worker natin, or nag-email na siya or nag-text. No? Hindi natin maiiwasan kung ano yung sinabi niya. Wala sa control natin. Pero yung isasagot natin, yung oras ng pagsagot natin, nasa control natin. So kung medyo mainit din ang ulo natin kasi nasusunog na yung nilalaga natin, nilalaga na lang, nasusunog pa, siguro dapat ipagpaliban muna yung pagsagot, no?
Mm.
Siguro it might be good to kakain muna ako ng lunch kasi kapag hindi ako nakakain, baka ano ang masagot ko, lumaki yung gulo, no? So these things are within our control. They're not, pero yung control, yung ating response, yung time ng pagsagot natin, yung the way we answer is really within our control. So, ang maganda nga ngayon sa online, kapag hindi nyo sila sinagot kaagad, sasabihin nyo lang, ay naku, nagpa-fluctuate po yung bad signal po. No,
Naku, bakit mo sinabi? We can't use that reason anymore.
kasi totoo naman, di ba? Parang ganun. Or, hindi po, pero nandito na po ako ngayon, ito sasagutin ko na po. So, I think there's more chances for us to really make a
Process,
better
no?
relationship, yes, now. Kasi mas naayos natin yung oras ng pagsagot natin. Kagaya dati, react tayo ng react, di ba? So, yun yung sagot natin. Right away feedback, straight feedback dun sa mga hindi natin difficult principal, difficult co-workers, toxic parents, yung we can compose what we want to tell them. At
We
pwede
can
tayo,
buy ourselves time,
Time,
before
oo.
we react, before we respond.
correct. Sa mga babae, pwede tayo mag-powder muna at mag-lipstick para mukhang confident tayo bago tayo humarap sa kanila, di ba? So, may mga ganong mga tips na pwede nating gawin that are really in our control. Pero we cannot control the other people. No? So, how about power connection? Sir Dan, anong tingin
Ako,
mo?
I'll share naman siguro yung more on the environment. So, halimbawa, mabagal yung internet mo. Hindi mo naman yan mapapabilis kahit magsasayaw ka dyan, di ba? Okay? So, maybe you could design your lesson in such a way na hindi masyadong synchronous, okay? So, more asynchronous sessions. The same thing with your workspace. Kung magulo, limited, hindi ka naman pwedeng magawa ng second floor or mag-rent into a place para lang mas maganda yung workspace mo. But there are things that you could do to improve, like using a Zoom background para hindi makita yung gulo ng room nyo, or something to use to minimize the sound. Merong mga apps that will remove yung mga white noise in the background. So I think we just need to search and explore on those things. So it could be beyond, but it's not there's nothing we can do. Okay. So meron pa rin
Siguro I
tayong
wanna
what to
share lang
improve.
din. I wanna add to what Dan said, no? Minsan yung creating that space at home, kasi yung reality talaga, not all of us have that space at home, no, na parang very quiet and all. So hindi tayo lahat nakatira sa malalaking bahay na pwedeng talagang total silence and all. But maybe informing the people at home na, oh, by this time meron akong session, parang awan yun na, wag muna tayo. Hindi, parang napapractice din yung natin, napapractice din na sinasabi natin sa mga tao kung ano yung kailangan natin para matulungan natin. Kasi these things are within our control, no? Telling people na mga 11 o'clock may session ako, pwede tanggalin mo na yung TV, and then hindi tanggalin, patayin yung i-turn off yung TV, or mag-usap ng mahina. Kasi yun na lang yung pwede nating magawa ngayon eh. I agree with that. Hindi tayo pwede magpagawa ng second floor just to have that quiet space for ourselves. But I don't want to also parang our viewers to feel frustrated kasi nga ang liit ng bahay, ano nang gagawin namin, wala kaming space, sa banyo na lang ba kami, walang signal sa banyo, 'di ba? Pero these are things that add to the stress of people na parang alam mo na may mga batang tatakbo sa background mo habang nagtuturo ka and all. So parang i-ano mo lang, have that moment or have that conversation with your family members and say na dito lang sa mga panahon na to, please. Behave lang tayo kasi si mama kailangan magturo, si papa kailangan magturo din, 'di ba? So, ganoon. Or may nakita akong meme nito sa Facebook. Yung kid, nilock niya yung door niya, tapos nag-iwan siya ng note sa mommy niya na parang I'm having an online class, please do not make utos. So we communicate our needs, no? We communicate our needs, especially during this time.
Oh, yes.
I saw
Danny?
this comment lang from Don de Guzman. Okay. So we should learn to respond rather than react.
Yeah,
So,
correct.
ayan. So,
There's a big difference.
So think
Sige.
before yan.
Bago lang tayo pumunta na sa next segment natin, gusto ko lang dagdagan yung sinabi ng meme ni Tintin kasi ito rin natawa din ako. Sabi nung isang bata naman, Daddy, magbihis na po kayo. Daddy, magdamit na po kayo kasi mag-online class po kami. Okay,
it happens,
okay,
no? Oo.
Yes, nangyayari po yan na minsan nagle-lesson po tayo, hindi po nakagawian na po kasi natin na yung ating mga kasama sa bahay, minsan naglalakad na walang shirt or all or nakabutas-butas, naglalakad sa likod. No? So parang, makikita mo yung mga mukha ng mga estudyante, ano po yun? Sino po yun? So let's be very careful of that. Okay.
Yeah,
Sige.
so wala na talagang boundaries.
Oo. So ito yung dito yung sa mga bagay na pwede natin, na wala tayong magagawa. We have to let go. We know that our reaction, we can control. Pero paano naman doon sa mga bagay na meron tayong pwedeng magawa? Kumbaga, it's really within our control. Kaya lang, napakarami nila, no? Na nasa control naman natin, pero meron tayong pwedeng magawa. Paano naman natin i-deal with ito? Ano ang uunahin natin, di ba? Sa napakaraming gagawin, sa tambak-tambak na paperwork, sa tambak-tambak na paggawa ng lesson plan, estudyante, role sa bahay, ano pa ang pwede nating gawin, no? Sa mga things that we can do. So, ang brilliant idea po na gawin ito sa acronym ng kaagapay para po maalala ninyong lahat. Galing po ito kay Sir Dan, yung acronym ng kaagapay. I will just take the first three. No? Sabi po dito na for the things that is within your that you can do something about, it's importante po that we know our boundaries. No? Hanggang saan lang po ba tayo? No? For example, one part of knowing our boundary is, ito ay trabaho ko at pwede rin namang gawin ng mga anak ko. Kaya for me, I'm talking about my work in the house. No? Siyempre, everybody has to help in cleaning the house. Siyempre, as a mom, sanay tayo na nung lumalaki yung mga bata, pinagsisilbihan natin siya. Pinagsisilbihan natin yung ating iisang asawa. No? Pero now that time has changed because the workplace has become, your home has become your workplace also, yung oras din po natin limitado. So we can put our boundaries. Okay, akin po ito ha, ito po yung gagawin ko. Ito po yung mga bagay na akin. Yung paghugas naman ng plato, ate, sa'yo na. Ha? Kuya, kaya mo na yan. 12 years old ka na. Okay? Ang pagluluto ngayon ng breakfast, dahil ano lang naman, pag-iinit lang naman, pwede na kay bunso. Okay? And then, sarili-sariling kwarto, sarili-sariling space, magligpit, tulong-tulong tayo. So, you put that you sort of put that boundaries already. So, one is also knowing how to compromise. Nandiyan yung sinasabi ni Tintin na dapat mag-usap, no? Ito akin, ito sa'yo. Tulong-tulong tayo. Okay? So, that is one way that you can do. Dahil sa dami ng dapat gawin at pwedeng gawin, kailangan talaga na paghatian yung pwedeng mga magawa. No? Okay. Yung pangalawa is really to allocate time. Okay. Magbibigay tayo ng oras, magbibigay tayo ng and partly when we allocate time, we will also know and be aware of the things that we want to brings us to the next A, yung accomplish natin. No? Kasi ang isang nakakapagbaba ng stressor natin is if we are able to accomplish something. So kagaya kunyari, if you are doing your list of things to do, syempre may mga ibang urgent, talagang top priority, pero kailangan matagal na oras. Meron namang second or third priority, pero pag ginawa mo na, tapos na. No? Na checklist mo na. So, titinan natin yung checklist natin, we allocate time to do this, and look at the things that we can accomplish given the time that we have. So, writing our own, kailan siya due, gaano kahirap yung task na yan, kung pwede nang gawin ngayon, tapusin na kahit matagal pa yung due para one item out na. Okay? So, that is for the KAA. Next. Sino na sa next? Sir Dan.
Okay. So siguro one important thing is also know when to get help. Before kasi parang we're so used na doing things on our own. We are an expert on our field, but as mentioned, the times have changed already. So me being in the workplace for 20 years, in terms of technology, that is not my expertise. So, I asked yung mga newbies dun sa department, paano ba mag-enable ng waiting room sa Zoom link? Paano ba gumawa ng schedule sa Google Hangouts? So, getting help is not a sign na you're not competent with the job. Actually, may term na ginagamit ngayon, yung parang collaborative work. Okay? So, when you get ideas from other people, okay, asking them to contribute from here and that, mas nagiging maganda yung product natin. So, minsan kasi may mga no-oversight tayo na other students would see it na, ito pala mas engaging compared dun sa own idea natin. So, it's good na we talk to them. And getting help also will lead to less mistakes, diba? When you know you're on the right path, okay, you've consulted someone, so that's good already. And then second is yung, Miss J, you want to add something?
Sir Dan, may tanong lang ako sa'yo sa experience of getting help, di ba?
Yes.
Siyempre mag-ask help tayo, especially pag sa mga computer technical stuff, dun sa may mga mas bata, di ba?
Yes.
Hindi ba tayo nila, natatakot ako, baka pagtawanan ako o sabihin, ay nako, ito namang si Lola J. Siyempre, nakakawala ng stress ko na nakaka-stress yung idea na mapagtawanan ako ng, di ba, technically, siyempre, for 20 years, so administrative level tayo, tapos humingi tayo ng tulong sa, let's say, yung mga mas bata. Sa experience mo ba, hindi ka naman, hindi natapagtawan? Paano ba yun?
Actually, nung first, medyo nakakahiya. Kasi parang, dapat alam ko na to eh. But in reality, na-appreciate nung people who are younger than you, that you ask their help. Kasi parang there's a sense of recognition that I'm part of the team, I'm needed by my supervisor, even if my supervisor is already on the higher position. The same thing, if I ask for help, then hindi sila mahihiyang mag-ask ng help from you. Okay? So parang it's a two-way thing.
Mhm.
Kasi, yun nga, merong collaboration. Okay? May
And it's
consultation.
also no, it's also part of that acceptance, no, yung acceptance level. At this point, I'm not an expert on this. So yung mga
Mm.
age natin, yung mga age natin, we have to accept that there are really people younger than us better with technology, and it's their time to share their knowledge with us.
Actually,
Acceptance.
ang hirap maging 30 ngayon, ano? Parang
Mm.
ang hirap na hirap tayo, parang ang tanda-tanda na.
Correct. Oo. Hindi mo,
30 years of service ba yun?
Oo, ang hirap maging
okay.
30 years of service. Okay.
And actually, especially now that the students are even smarter with the teachers when it comes to technology.
Yeah.
So kaya minsan nga it adds to the stress din na may fear ang mga teachers na they would cheat pag may ganitong exams or something. So we ask also the help of our younger colleagues. So that's good. And second is allow mistakes. So as mentioned, we are not in the perfect situation now that we have face-to-face interaction. We have all our resources in school. The board and your knowledge is enough. So this time, it's good that we have to accept the thing that things may not come out perfectly. Minsan nga kahit perfect na yung nagawa natin, the situation will interfere, no? And make it imperfect. I've experienced being disconnected in a class while I'm in the middle of the class, or nagagalit na ako, yung pala nakamute ako, or
That's good, ah.
I was about to talk to a student sa guidance kasi in comparison with teaching, minsan kailangan real time mo makakausap yung student. So hindi lang pwedeng magbigay ng assign. And then I could not connect, etc. So let us not be too hard on ourselves when there are things that we are not able to do. Especially teachers, alam naman natin na we always want to give our best. Okay? But allow that particular room for us na things will not come out as perfect as we expect it to be. And our students, they're not expecting us, okay, to do things perfectly. Okay? Mas, there's this quote that I really liked before na parang the students would not remember what you taught them, but they would remember how you made them feel. Okay? So kung nakita nila na nandun yung passion mo, nandun yung care, nandun yung concern. Okay. Regardless of what kind of technology you would use, or kung meron mang typographical error dyan, or hindi man perfect ang transition ng iyong PowerPoint from one point to another, as long as your students see your effort, okay, that's great enough. Okay.
Yeah. I
Grabe.
like that. Gusto ko yung
Ako,
allow mistakes. Oh,
yes.
diba? Kasi but it's difficult to it's difficult especially for seasoned teachers like Je, no? Parang it's
30 years.
30 years, okay. 30 years dot. Mahirap, no? Mahirap kasi parang feeling mo nag-grow ka na dun sa sa profession na yon, thinking that you know already what to do. But at this time, it's okay. Just allow yourself to make mistakes, because you will learn definitely from those mistakes, no? Now, to add to what Je and Dan said, no, the letter P in kaagapay is prioritize. This is also connected to what Je said a while ago. Allocate time. For example, ito moment ko to bilang nanay. So you're able to allocate time sa pagiging nanay, sa pagiging teacher, sa pagiging kaibigan, sa pagiging ikaw sa sarili mo, 'di ba? But we also need to prioritize. Ano yung kailangan mo i-prioritize kung ang mode mo ngayon ay teacher? Kailangan mo bang i-prioritize ang paggawa ng module, paggawa ng PowerPoint, paggawa ng grades and all. So lahat 'yan pwedeng i-prioritize. Kung ang mode mo ay bilang nanay, ano yung gusto mong i-prioritize? Gusto mo bang magluto muna, maglaba muna, or all these things? Katulad ng sinabi ni Je, maybe it helps, no, kung meron kayong things to do list, and there's a sense of accomplishment when you're able to tick some of the tasks already. So good yan. And then letter A is affirm the good. you know what? In this time, it's so easy to rant because there are so many things to rant about. There are so many things that we see around us that's so negative na nakakagigil talaga. But let us not forget that amid all these things, there are also good things happening, right? Being with our families 24/7 for me is a good thing. It's not normal that you see them 24/7, but it's a good thing to see your child in a different light this time. Kasi ikaw talaga yung nakakakita. You know what, before frustration namin yun ng husband ko, no, na nakikita, we deal with students, but si Mia, yung daughter ko, hindi namin siya nakikita sa school, hindi namin siya nakikita nagpo-perform sa school, but now we can see, as in buksan lang namin yung door. Titingnan namin paano siya nag-PPE, paano siya nagre-recite, we can hear. So, these things are good, and it's good to affirm those things, no? Things na mahirap siya kasi automatic nga sa brain natin na to criticize and to be negative and all. But let's practice that. Let's thank all the good things happening around us also. And the last letter is you. Let us not forget that when we talk about wellness, the most important person to consider is yourself. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So, kung nauubos ka na at feeling mo, hindi, teacher ako, and as a teacher, I have to give my 100%, walang masama doon. But you have to check, meron ka pa bang ibibigay? Then that's the time to look within and see ano yung pwede mong ibigay sa sarili mo. So, don't forget yourself. It's not selfishness to think about yourself at this point in time.
Yes. So, paano natin i-translate ang you cannot pour from an empty cup?
Kung ano ba, kung wala ka nang mabubuhos, kung wala ka ring laman, wala kang mabubuhos sa iba. So minsan 'di ba, lagi natin 'yan sinasabi as teacher, no? Parang as a teacher, parang no, I want to be there for my students. I want to care for my students. Pero nararamdaman mo na ang hirap na. You're able to point out na mahirap nang magbigay, pero hindi mo na point out bakit. Kasi nauubos ka na rin. Now, kung hindi mo ma-identify the things that are parang ano ba, that you're running empty already, mahirap to be that ideal teacher na you're always there present for your students.
Yes. And of
Tama
course,
yun, no?
oo.
So, parang hindi ka makapagbibigay kung anong wala ka.
Yes.
Or hindi mo
Yun.
maibibigay
Parang mas magandang
kung...
ano yan, mas magandang translation yun.
Parang hindi mo na maibibigay kung naubos na yung pwede mo pang
Yeah.
ibigay. I'll just get from one of the comments here, no? Isa kasi sa mga problems din of being yourself is that yung COVID case natin ngayon become so near sa family, no? Dati it's just in the news, it's just people who know na nagkaroon. Now it's people we know na nagkakaroon ng COVID. So I think yung struggle is real. So we have to recognize that as part of you. Okay? And we have to address that. Okay? Loss of a loved one, difficult family member, sickness, etc.
Okay. At siguro bilang pangdagdag lang na ngayon ko lang napansin, no? Kasi binigyan natin sila ng parang tips na letra ka, ganyan, no? Na nagsaspell ng salitang kaagapay. Pero siguro yung huling tip na pwede naming ibigay sa iyo ay ito. Humanap ng kaagapay, no? It's always important to have someone that you trust that can tell you, hoy, bruha ka, pagod ka na. Diba? Alagaan mo naman ang sarili mo, nagkakasakit ka na. Diba? Meron din yung magsasabi sa'yo totoo na, alam mo, Dan, love na love kita, pero yung ginawa mo kanina, nakadagdag ka sa stress ng marami. Diba? Yung bang tipong, merong magsasabi sa'yo ng totoo, at matatanggap mo dahil alam mong kaagapay mo siya, hindi mo mamasamain, pero you will become a better person, a better version of you. Di ba? Doon talagang babagsak yung stress level natin. Kasi pag alam natin na meron bang isang tao lang na nakakaintindi, tsaka kahit alam na hindi tayo nasa best part natin ngayon, nakita niya, pero mahal pa rin tayo o tinatanggap pa rin tayo. parang ang lakas makawala ng stress, no? So, magandang tip 'yan sa ating mga viewers ngayon nakasapi ng kaagapay, magandang gawin niyo na yung vision niyo na humanap ng talagang isang kahit isa lang, 'pag mas marami better, no? Ng isang matinong kaagapay na lalakbay kasama mo, lalo na sa panahon ng pandemya. Okay?
Okay. Actually,
Okay
that's
po?
good, no? Okay, Miss Je. Okay. So, yung kaagapay, okay, it could be a friend that you could trust. Or minsan, ang kailangan natin kausap is someone na feeling natin will not judge us. Okay? So, pwedeng it's someone na independent na who could give us an honest advice. Okay? If we're doing good things, we're not doing good things. Kasi minsan, people would just affirm you, pero actually just to appease you. So, find that person that you could trust. Okay, tama yan.
Yes. Parang tayo, di ba?
Oh, parang life coach din.
Parang si Coach Tin, di ba? Okay, very good. Sige, next segment, dahil ang bilis naman ng oras dito, talagang we're 1 hour and 50. Kagabi
Ang dami pa nating gustong i-discuss.
sabi namin, baka naman 30 minutes lang, wala na kaming masabi. Now, we would like to give you parang tips. Meron kami mga myth busters. Okay? So, if we can show that slide, no? So, yung mythbusters kasi, ito yung mga pinapaniwalaan natin, di ba? Bilang teachers or bilang tao. Pero isa siyang myth, no? Pwede siyang, at lalo na sa panahon na to,
Nakakadagdag siya ng stress kung yun yung
Oo.
papaniwalaan, no?
okay, so
Correct.
ako na, mga kapatid, ako na muna sa first, no? Okay. Yung tinatawag natin coverage is the goal, no? As teachers and as students, very, very important sa atin. Talagang from the first year of our teaching, sinasabi na merong pinapalabas na ang curriculum ang DepEd. Kailangan natin by the end of 10 months, makover natin yan from one end to the other. No? For this year, and I think DepEd understands this kasi nag-a-adjust din sila. No? Coverage is not really or majorly the goal. Siyempre po, bilang teachers, kailangan po tayong magturo. No? Kailangan talaga, the learning has to continue, the show must go on. But I think at this point, it's very, very important yung mental health at yung mental health ng mga estudyante natin at yung mental health ng ating mga teachers. No? So, if let's say in the classroom, it's a toss up between coverage and the mental health of our student or panahon na igugugol para sa patapusin ang lesson plan or kausapin ang mga bata. Minsan, for this year at least, sana maging priority natin yung wellness ng mga estudyante natin. Pwede nating pakinggan sila ng mas matagal kung meron silang gustong sabihin sa atin o i-share sa kanilang mga classmates, no? Kasi parang yung goal talaga this year is to have our students' well-being as a priority. Okay?
Miss Je,
Go ahead.
Does it make me a bad teacher kung hindi ko natapos yung lesson ko?
Oo, yes. That is really diyan tayo talaga naging ambivalent. Kasi as teachers, ang training natin, matapos natin yung coverage natin, yung lesson natin. But remember that this year is also a trial year. So we're bound to make mistakes. Hindi natin matimpla kasi hindi po pareho ang pagturo sa face-to-face saka sa online. No? Even yung attention span ng mga bata, pagka online, mas maikli. No? So we have to make a lot of adjustments in our coverage. So sa tingin ko, it does not make you a bad teacher. No, if you don't cover your coverage, especially that we are still looking for the right timpla, no, of teaching online or doing blended learning. So
and we have to remember also that delivering your lesson or doing your module is just one part of being a teacher. malaki pa yung role mo bilang isang guro. Hindi lang yung pagtuturo ng mga module na to. Nandyan ka para sa kanila, maging present, when we say present, we're not talking about physical presence anymore, no? But that Je was talking about wellness. If we have to choose between our modules and the wellness of our students, we definitely choose wellness, di ba? Kasi when we prioritize wellness, we are also teaching life lessons there, no? Not taking good care of yourself, taking good care of the people around you, and taking care of yourself as a person is very important. More than, we're not saying na hindi importante yung module, but if you have to choose between covering your module or attending to a student who's feeling depressed because she or he is overwhelmed with all the things that's happening in the online setup, you attend to the student first.
Yes.
Okay. And then yung lessons naman, okay. Minsan kasi merong mga nice to know lang na lessons, merong essential to know. Okay. So, yung na-mention dito ni Shara Galia is that kahit hindi mo na-cover lahat, pero may mastery on specific important lessons. That is what's important. Kasi the other things naman, students could just Google it. Okay. Or if it could be set an assignment, okay, pwede rin naman. Okay. Pero yung skill, okay, of teaching the particular lesson, siguro yun yung kailangan, yun yung essential. Okay.
Yeah. So sometimes yung idea of the teacher being in charge all the time, no, nakaka-stress din. Yung not being aware that there are things na good to know din lang naman na malaman. And then there are things that students can just Google, no? Na pwede nilang basahin and minsan mas ano pa yung kaalaman nila doon sa isang lesson na tinuturo natin. But yung idea nga na the teacher is in charge, nakakadagdag siya ng stress. And yung idea na parents know best, 'di ba? Nakaka-stress din siya. So sa panahon ngayon, kung ganito pa rin yung mindset natin, baka mas stuck tayo. Diba? Baka ma-stuck tayo, makakadagdag siya talaga ng stress. So, maybe when you parang catch yourself thinking that I am in charge, diba? I am in charge. Tapos, nervous ka na kasi ikaw ang in charge as walang internet connection or nag-off, nasira yung gadget mo and all. You remind yourself that when you empower children or empower students to actually learn on their own, like researching things on their own sa mga asynchronous times nila and all. At pwede nila din yan i-share, yung knowledge na yan sa klase or sa teachers. Hindi bibigat yung pakiramdam na kung hindi mo maturo yung isang module ay bad ka na teacher, di ba? So, you also parang it's a good way to empower students, no, kung sabihin nyo na ang learning ay shared responsibility. So ganun din sa mga parents, no. Totoo yan, lagi natin sabi, parents know best, but at this time siguro yung
parents know nothing at this point.
Especially sa mga learning apps, no, parang sila, parang alien terms sila sa atin ngayon. But we allow the students, no? We allow our children to educate us with incomes in terms of these educational apps, and allow our students to also parang let us know anong nangyayari sa kanila ngayon, lalo na sa mga teenagers, because sometimes mga parents sasabihin nila, alam ko yung na-experience mo, sabihin mo sa akin yan, ganyan yan, tapos ang dami mo na sasabihin, di ba? Tapos students naman or children, yung kids naman these days will say, you don't understand me. Di ba? But
yan po ang linya nila sa bahay. Ganyan po sila.
Correct. You don't understand me. But valid yun. Di ba? Valid yun. We cannot fully understand the experiences of our students and children at this point unless they tell us.
Yes.
And parang magandang feeling yan that we are allowed to actually know their context. But hindi natin sila pwedeng ipuwersa eh. Hindi natin sila pwedeng i-force. We have to let them be ready to show that side to us. We have to be patient as parents. So, totoo na hindi natin lahat alam yung best all the time.
That's true.
Kaya nga, tama yan, huwag tayong matakot, lalo na maging open ngayon sa mga anak natin at sa ating mga estudyante as well na okay, hanggang dito lang po yung alam ni teacher or ni mommy, turuan mo naman ako, parang ganon, no? Kaya ngayon ginawa kanya ni Sir Dan na nagpaturo siya sa parang mga younger teachers, yun po yung isang technique we really need to ask. And more often than not po, they're very willing to help us. Like my own children, pag hindi ko na alam kung anong gagawin ko sa certain app at nawawala ako, sasabihin nila, ganito lang yan, tinan mo, ganito. Ganun pala. No? So, that's really where this will come in right now. Wag po tayong, iba na yung panahon ngayon, wag tayong mahiyang magtanong sa kanila. And hindi na nga talaga time na parents know best. Okay?
Okay.
Oo.
Yung third naman, yung learning happens only in the classroom. So for sure, it's a myth. Okay? So wala naman tayo sa classroom, but still everyone gets to learn. And sometimes students learn more on their own then. Okay? We just need to give some guide points. Okay? So may mga signposting lang tayo on what for them to do, but we don't need to be in every step of the way. We have to trust our students then. So learning could happen in group works. Learning could happen in observations of things, interviewing people within their household. So I know that there's 1,000 other possibilities, not just the classroom, to get our information.
Okay.
So don't limit learning in the Zoom session.
Dan, sa'yo yung pang-apat, ikaw ang nakapagsabi niyan.
Okay. So, I saw this meme, okay, from Four Sisters and a Wedding. So, yung famous meme ni Bea Alonso na bakit parang ako yung may kasalanan. But this time, it's bakit parang ako ang naka-enroll. Parents were saying. So, syempre, as mentioned kanina, parents also are still learning. Okay. So, going through the ropes of how to do online learning. But as parents, we should trust our children. Sabi ko nga, yung children, mas magaling pa sa technology with us. So, the parent should not be someone who would interfere, but would just help manage the students' learning. So, parang teaching them the nitty-gritty of things, okay? When they cannot answer, we worry. Just let them be, okay? Kasi ang learning also involves making mistakes. So, if we let our children make mistakes, and they find how to correct their mistakes, then learning takes place.
Yes. So, basta one tip lang po sa mga teachers na haharap na sa mga magulang ngayon, wag po kayong matakot, no? Pero maghanda lang tayo kasi talagang bakit parang ako ang naka-enroll, yan po yung mararamdaman nila at this point, no? And it's really stressful for the parents. So, pagka merong parents na galit na at humarap sa inyong ganyan, sabihin niyo lang po sa sarili na, kalma lang po, kalma lang. Kasi meron din silang dinadaanan. And slowly explain or entertain them. No? So kahit po, expect na po natin na baka tumaas yung kanilang boses. Pero tayo po, basta kalma lang. At marami po tayong pwedeng marinig na kagaya dati ng mga myth na sasabihin nila, hindi ba, kaya ako nga pinag-enroll ang anak ko para matuto sa iyo, tapos ang ending, ako rin pala magtuturo. Hindi na po kasi, hindi nga po, nasa pandemya nga po tayo. So, ganun lang po yung sagot natin, nasa pandemya po tayo, magtulungan naman po tayo. Parang ganon. So, nakasmile pa rin po tayo, lagyan po natin ng lipstick para sa mga kababaihan, and just be ready for all of these things that our parents will tell us kasi talagang stress din sila. So, pag naranasan na natin yung stress nila at pag narinig na natin, teachers, kaagapay, iiwan na natin dahil they will have to deal with that. Dahil tayo rin, meron din tayong sariling mga stress. Okay? So, another myth buster is that the students have to be online the whole time. Hindi po dapat ganun. No? So, sabi ko nga kanina, there are moments na meron tayong synchronous and asynchronous. So, the moments na nag-online kayo sa mga bata, it's very important that you are able to tell the instructions clearly. Kasi kunyari, kung one online session lang kayo sa isang linggo o dalawa, dapat po talaga, hindi kagaya dati, pwedeng, ay teka, baka makita ko pa siya sa hallway, pwede kong sabihan. Ngayon wala pong ganon. Kaya dapat prepared po tayo doon sa mga announcements natin. Dapat medyo malinaw na po yung mga task na inaasahan natin sa mga bata. at yun po yung una nating maibigay sa kanila during the online class, yung synchronous na tinatawag natin. Kasi pag may tanong po sila, yun po yung chance na, na makakatanong sila at masasagot nyo na marinig ng lahat. So, during these synchronous sessions, I suggest and I highly encourage that we prepare our announcements very well, the things that we want them to do for the rest of the week until the next meeting have to be very clear, okay? And always give them a line wherein they can call you kung email po ba yan or text po ba or sa FB para po merong mapagtanungan yung mga bata. But they need not to be online the whole day kasi pag nasa online po silang the whole day, talagang magiging zombie na po sila at hindi lang po sila pero pati po tayong mga guro na kaagapay nila ay magiging zombie rin. Okay,
So,
last.
I'll just add to that lang, no?
Go ahead.
So, in our school kasi, aside from the synchronous and asynchronous session, we have a consultation time where our students could catch us kung meron silang questions na hindi nila nakuha during synchronous sessions. So, I'm not sure if it's possible also for some institutions or for you as a teacher to set a specific time para pagdating ng next synchronous session mo, all of your students, especially yung mga nag-consult, are at the same page, okay, during the session.
Sige,
So that's it.
ano lang, banggitin ko lang yung sinabi ni Lord Lena na the school should inform the parents and the students regarding the new setup of our education. Yes po. Sana po your administration has already taken that into consideration. Kasi importante po yun. Kundi the teachers will bear the brunt, no, of explaining to the parents na dapat naman talaga administration should already be doing that. So please work closely with your administration and we pray that your administration will be really very supportive of you, especially during this pandemic and a new way of teaching. Okay.
Siyempre, yung last one, no, putting one's needs first is selfish, no? So, it was mentioned already a while ago na it's not selfishness because, we'll repeat, you cannot pour from an empty cup.
Yes. Okay. So, sana marami kayo natutunan sa aming Mythbusters. We have 20 minutes to go. Sige po, do we want to give them tips, Sir Jello, Sir Franco, or do you want to open the floor for question and answer?
Siguro, ayun,
Pero,
Sir, si Coach Dean at si Sir Dan, I think many of our teachers, many of our viewers really appreciate yung discussion and they are giving so much comments and even insights do sa mga sinabi niyo po. So, siguro for the remainder of the time, maganda rin tignan natin or let's welcome the questions that they might have para po mas maging we want an interactive and a live discussion. So, ang ganda po nung format natin ngayon. Actually, this is the first time that we did it na walang isang speaker, but it's really a collaboration. Again, I would like to use the term used by Sir Dan. Collaboration talaga siya. So, teachers, our viewers, please send us your questions. Kung meron po kayong gustong i-clarify, itanong, or mga tips, baka may gusto po kayong hingin na tips in terms of how we will be able to really have that well-being sa ating
or maybe we can also ask the teachers or our viewers to share kung ano yung mga naging routines nila that help them dun sa 6 months na nag-a-adjust tayo dito sa bagong ano. We will definitely learn from each other, no? Kasi kanya-kanyang context to. So iba-ibang style of coping, iba-ibang routines ang na-establish and all. Walang one size fits all na ano dito na proseso, no? So maybe you can also add that to your comments para matuto kami and i-discuss din natin siguro among us, no, kung ano yung nakatulong din sa atin as we adjust din dun sa 6 months na naka-lockdown tayo and we're doing online learning.
siguro while they're formulating their questions, let me share na lang some things, okay, that I did to de-stress for myself. Kasi pag online, we're mostly seated and focused on the screen. So one good thing siguro is physical way of de-stressing. Though not all of us are physically equipped, okay? Most of us are couch potato. Uh, what I did, okay, I do walking, I run, I exercise. But for those who are not into it, I'll share some physical exercises to de-stress in the meantime, okay, while you're just seated or not going anywhere. This is shared by Miss Jet Chingyo. So you could look at don't make fun of me. Pero when you do it, parang it looks funny din. So, siguro matatanggap ko ng pagtawanan. So, siguro, especially when we write that much, okay, masakit yung mga hands natin. So, ang one way of physically distressing is creating tension on some of your body parts and then releasing it after. So, how is that? So, different body parts creating tension and then releasing it. So, for example, for the hands, so clench your fist for 10 seconds. Alright. And then let go. Okay? You will feel na medyo nawawala yung tension dun sa ano. Some good feeling siya. So sa hands, so just repeat it 3 times, clench. So then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then release. So the same with your arms. So parang clench. Okay. Then release. Then on your shoulders, tense it, going up, and then release. And then your chin, without moving your neck, okay, try to put it below your chest. Sana hindi lumabas yung mga double chin.
Ayaw umabot, Dan. Paano ba yan?
Ayan, okay. And also, your lips.
Parang mas na-stress ako doon.
Sa lips, pwedeng you smile as wide as you can.
I can do that.
And then release. The same thing with biting your lips. Wag with your tita. And then release. Okay. The same thing with massaging your eyes. Sana wala kayong contacts. May contacts ako, but just massage it here. Then massage also your temples and the back of your ears, just here. The same thing. And then with your chest, it's just deep breathing. So, inhale. Then, 10 seconds. Tapos nalimutan na mag-inhale. Tapos exhale. Okay. Then with your feet naman, extend your toes going out. So 10 seconds then, and then go back. So mga ganun lang. Okay. These are simple things that you could do for physical things. Yan.
Congrats.
Meron dito nag-comment, sabi niya, routine ko is to set time to really reflect and allot time to think about the day. It helps me to refocus and to think of how I can improve to be ready for the next day. That's from Rachel Mendoza. So yeah, you know what? Mindfulness helps. I do that. And yabang, no? Pero I do, it helps me. But when we say naman mindfulness, we're not only talking about yung talagang parang yung meditation all the time. There are simple things that you can do na considered mindfulness already. Ako, I do walking sa treadmill lang kasi hindi pwedeng lumabas yung mga senior citizen, right? So, dito lang ako sa bahay. Dito lang ako sa bahay, nagto-treadmill. And it's very important. Now that we have the luxury of time kasi we don't get to travel to work na, nakakasave tayo ng time, no? Yung mga traffic moments natin before, we can convert that, no? Dun sa mga activities na pwede pa natin gawin sa bahay. So, ako, nag-walk ako sa treadmill while listening to relaxing music, especially dun sa line ng work ko na I get to listen to a lot of people's angst and rants and negativity. I really need to distress and pray for them. Yeah.
Okay. So dito may comment lang si Sir Elmer Benabon. Curious daw siya sa mga naka-display kay sa likod ni Sir Dan. Yun po ay mga, Sir Elmer, yan po ay mga Starbucks cups because Sir Dan is
Ayan, collector.
licensed collector, no?
Wow.
So kung mapadayo po kayo sa Xavier School, pagka wala na po itong COVID lockdown.
Oo, yan ang nakakaalis ng stress yan ni Dan.
Oo,
Yes.
kailangan niyo po sabihin kung anong country po ang gusto niyo na cup na inuman at meron po siya. So, for the
Meron siya galing sa Mars.
okay.
Dan, meron
Ano
siya
ba yung
galing
galing
sa
sa
Mars.
Question for Coach Tin and Sir Dan.
Ayan.
What advice can you give us on how we can make our parents understand that this new normal setup of schooling is totally different from before without them being offended?
Okay. Sige, Dan, you want to start?
Ikaw na lang muna.
Sige. Kasi,
Napagod kasi ako sa exercise.
okay, sige na nga. Okay. So,
Ako sunod.
minsan kasi ako iniisip ko, kung ako yung nasa sitwasyon na yon, iisipin ko muna, ano yung hindi malinaw? So, maybe you can ask the parents, so, ano yung hindi clear? Kasi minsan kaya tayo nagre-react or nagiging negative about things is because there are aspects that we can't understand. Kasi ako, I trust that everyone naman is always welcome, no? Always welcome to do things na makakapagpabuti pa ng sitwasyon natin. But we have to understand at this point, yung mga negative reaction, mga rants and all, normal reaction yan because of the anxiety that all of us are feeling. So, let's determine, na-anxious ba tong parent na to, kaya parang feeling natin, nagagalit siya at hindi niya gustong intindihin yung sitwasyon. Tanungin natin, ano yung hindi clear? Kasi I believe that lahat ng schools, no, ang ginawa nila ay to really inform the parents first. 'Di ba? Kung ano yung mga changes. Kailangan silang on board sa mga mangyayari. Kasi yung sinasabi natin, no, collaboration with the school and the home, no, alam ko nagawa na yan. But yung sinabi kasi ni Miss Daphne, no? Ay, hindi, iba pala yun. Without being offended. Yung kanina,
tama.
Without being offended. Yun yung sinasabi natin na how people will react to what we're saying. Wala tayong control doon. So, let's just be considerate of, for example, kung naging negative yung reaction and all, or kung feeling mo na offend sila, pero tama naman yung pag-explain mo, tama naman yung pag-explain ng school, nabigyan sila ng proper guidance, ng guidelines na maayos, then nothing to worry about. Kung hindi pa sila ready to accept kung ano yung mga changes na nangyayari, give them time. Kasi mahirap talaga to adjust or to right away appreciate what we have now kasi sobra siyang iba talaga.
Okay. What I do mostly when I talk to the parents is that I tell the parents that they are our partners in the school. So we're here to help each other. So it's not like the teacher is just giving everything. The parents will be accepting on the accepting end, no? So we are partners in helping. And then we recognize each other's limitations. So dahil nga it's pandemic, we have limitations in technology, limitations in gadgets, and other things, socializations, problems. We have to recognize na meron tayong mga magagawa at hindi magagawa at the moment. But encouraging the parents also and the students to help and support. Okay, so parang mas magiging responsible din sila to do their part, okay, in making things work. So siguro yon, encouragement. That would be my tip.
Okay. My next question that I will answer, Sir Angelo. What should the department do in order to address the needs and challenges of teachers who are also parents in the new normal, as both roles are equally important? Ang ganda-gandang tanong niyan, ano? Sagutin ko lang yung sa I work for Ateneo. So ang ginawa namin sa department namin, those who are teaching the same subject share a lot of the syllabus and a lot of materials together. Parang meron kaming repository na site kung saan nilalagay namin lahat ng pwede naming ibigay sa students namin. Kasi in the past, because online, face-to-face siya, kanya-kanya kami nang gawa. No? Even yung syllabus namin, basta umayon doon sa subject, educational psychology, kanya kami nang gawa. But now, yung department chair namin is very, very generous. She would send us examples of materials that she'll use, even sample quizzes. No, kasi ang hirap kaya mag-isip ng test questions ka ng assessment, di ba? So, tulong-tulong kami para yung trabaho ng tatlo nagiging trabaho ng isa, tapos may konting sharing, and we are able to parang preserve a little more of ourselves to do to do our role as teachers. Kayo, Dan and Tin, paano yung ginagawa sa schools niyo?
Sa school namin, so may sharing din of best practices. So halimbawa, merong helpful technology. Like this year, I just discovered yung quizzes. So it's an interactive way of making a quiz na parang competitive type. But teacher just input some of the questions. Pero when the student does it, very engaging and ano. So some of the technologies used were shared to some of the teachers. And then meron ding naman mga teachers na, halimbawa yung mga group of class advisors namin. Meron kaming isang chat group. So may particular lesson and then a teacher would try to put some inputs and then if we could implement it in our class, so gagawin namin. Kung hindi naman, di okay lang. So pero kumbaga, it's there if you want to use or you don't want to use. Basta it's there.
Sa KISS din, meron kaming engage hub. Yun yung tawag namin sa remote learning namin. May hub kami for parents and for students and for teachers. So all articles or all best practices that we see online or from each other, no, nilalagay lang din doon. Tapos parents can check out yung mga articles, students can also check out, especially yung mga engaging activities that we can do online now. Kasi very important siya, no, na-mention ko nga kanina, there are sessions so talaga na parang the students are like zombies, na parang, pero may mga icebreakers na we can do online. So doon din namin nilalagay. So maybe we can encourage them, the viewers also to do that, no, sa mga respective schools nila.
Okay. Angelo, patype na lang sa chat nung quizzes na link.
Yes.
Okay, para ano.
Meron ditong isang tanong pa. I'm a
Hindi ako
parent.
makatype.
Ang problema ko ngayon ay nawawala ng gana mag-aral mga anak ko dahil sa haba ng bakasyon. Kahit anong gawin ko, parang ayaw nila. Stress talaga ako. Marie Chris. Nakaka-stress, no? Nakaka-stress dahil nakikita mo na parang unmotivated sila. Hindi sila ganado sa ano. Maybe we have to understand that disposition is very normal at this point. Kasi nawala ng momentum, 'di ba? Nawala ng momentum. So we have to check also. Yun yung gusto ko rin i-emphasize, no, sa session na to, na kung sinasabi natin na mas pinapahalagahan natin yung well-being ng mga anak natin at mga estudyante natin, isang bagay na we have to understand yung mga nagiging reaction nila sa nangyayari ngayon. Some students parang indifferent, some students parang zombie pag nasa class, or some students parang ganun pa rin, no? Parang sobrang anxious na I have to excel, kailangan ko pa rin maging magaling dito sa ano to. May mga students din na parang ang coping mechanism nila ay parang wala akong gana, hindi niyo ako mapipilit. But siguro at this point, let them be and let them verbalize ano yung nagiging struggle nila, saan sila nahihirapan. Medyo mahirap yung aspeto na yon, especially for those parents and children na medyo iba yung dynamics, no? So we have to consider that also. Parang how can we improve our dynamics in this time of pandemic? Medyo we have to work on that. Nare-recognize natin na hindi naman kasi madali kaagad yan magsalita and all. Then we give them time and we be patient as parents, okay?
It's a normal reaction, no? Basta galing sa bakasyon, kahit naman regular school, parang ayaw mo nang bumalik sa school, no? But
Dan, nararamdaman mo ba yan?
once they get the hangout, okay, parang they get used to the routine, masasanay din yan. Kasi makikita din nila na yung value ng interaction with other students rather than people at home. So, kailangan lang ma-break na pag nakapasok na yan, makukuha din niya yung pace niya. So, kung hindi pa nag-start, wag lang tayo mag-worry. Okay. So, babalik din niya.
may isang question din na napaka-importante, no? What do we do with administrators or the administration who parang cannot relate or does not believe na mahirap talaga yung dinadaanan ng mga teachers at saka students? I remember that question kanina. Anong pwede nating tips na ibigay doon?
Miss Tin, nakamute po. Yeah.
During the first few weeks of parang module making preparation for the remote learning ng school kung saan ako nag-work, parang I gave it as a suggestion na talagang kailangan may debriefing weekly or kahit once a month for the teachers and the administrators para the administrators can have an idea ano yung struggle ng mga teachers. So, naging regular part yan ng routine ng KEYS teachers and admin for the admin to listen to the teachers kung saan nag-struggle for this week, saan yung mga joys nyo for this So lahat 'yun na pag-uusapan. And it helps doon mo marirealize na shared experience talaga yung mga struggles, shared experience din yung mga joy, and then you affirm each other. Ang sarap ng feeling, lalo na ngayon na nahihirapan tayo sa setup na to. Maybe you can also do the same if you have parang time, but I guess we have to create time for that, no? That's very important. We debrief our experiences.
Yes. Ako po, pag meron po kayong 9 days na available, pwede po kayong maghanap ng novena na pwede pong aayon sa kanila para ipag-novena natin sila. Pero joke lang yun. Pero totoo yun, pwede natin gawin yun to starter. Pero what we can do is to invite them to our online class. No, kung meron kayong synchronous, invite natin sila. Kasi pwede natin sabihin na, ma'am, hindi ko po alam kung tama po yung basa ko. Siguro po dapat samahan niyo po ako para matulungan niyo po ako ma-assess kung ano po talaga yung nangyayari sa klase ko. And I think no administrator will say no because you're asking for their help as administrator. And hopefully from that point, they can see it better. No? Siguro yung pag-online pa lang, ang hirap na para sa kanila. No, siguro yung pagpasok pa lang dun sa learning management system natin mahirap na, and for them to experience what the students feel would be an eye opener hopefully for them, no? So sana kung allow if the system allows, you can invite them to join you for the class.
Ako naman, siguro one thing that's important in de-stressing is socialization, no? So, the fact na may kausap ka, iba ang Peter ang hilig mag-chismis minsan. And it's a feel-good thing, no? Pero, in terms of teachers, more on professional discussion. So, parang you share what works, what doesn't work, what were your accomplishments, what were your difficulties. The fact that you were able to put it on the table makes it parang mas nakaka-uplift ng feeling pag nailabas mo na siya. And then you get affirmed, you get advice. So these things, siguro pwede rin natin i-practice to keep connected even if it's just a virtual connection. Yeah.
Oo, yun. Maganda yun, no? Magandang sagutin to siguro with, especially for Dan and Angelo and Tin who are really with the students. What do we really think our students need and want right now? What do we as educators most need and want right now? Ano sa tingin mo ang kailangan ng mga mag-aral natin at saka mga lupon ng guro at this point?
Ako
Vacation.
siguro, isang vacation, gusto yan, bonus.
Pera. Yes.
Pero parang yung unang nag-pop up sa mind ko, no, based from my chats with the teachers and the students, yun yung word na empathy. Parang we long to be understood at this point kasi sometimes we cannot really verbalize everything, although yun yung sinasabi natin, no, verbalize your needs and all. But sometimes you can just find words to describe kung gaano ka frustrating yung panahon, kung gaano kahirap. Kaya nga yung sinasabi, paano namin mapapaintindi sa mga administrators namin na mahirap talaga. Di ba minsan kasi nagka-camouflage na ang daming module na ginagawa, ang daming ganito, ang daming puro rants, di ba? Pero kung titingnan mo sa loob mo, ano talaga yung nakakapag-frustrate, 'di ba? Ako, una, yung na-determine ko, na-frustrate ako kasi I don't get to see face-to-face the students when I have my individual sessions with them. It frustrates me sometimes when my students break down online. Kasi hindi ko siya kayang itap man lang and say things will be okay. 'Di ba? Nafa-frustrate ako minsan kasi I'm not sure if my online presence is enough for them to to calm down as compared to the physical setup, no? So ang dami niyan. So for me, parang we reflect on the word empathy. Parang yun yung call, no? Yun yung call at this point.
I agree with Tin, empathy. Pero I'll add lang siguro, validation and support. Kasi we're on this tough time and we're not sure kung are we doing things right, are we okay. So, siguro pag na-validate natin na, oh, my son is doing well, okay, and your son will hear that, medyo mas motivate siya. The same thing na kung yung teachers nyo, okay, ma-recognize yung some of their efforts, mas magkakaroon ng drive. And then yung support, okay, that it's okay to make mistakes. But even if you make mistakes, there are people who will be behind your back. Yan yung kailangan siguro natin at that moment.
Yun. Okay.
Ang ganda na mga sharing. So, baka may gusto pa tayong, siguro mga last tips or last words that you want to impart to our kaagapay habang, kasi nga, most of our viewers are preparing also for the coming school year. So, most of them, magbubukas pa lang po ng school year. And unlike us, parang tayo at least meron na tayong experience with regards. So, ano po ang inyong mga advice for them as they start their journey with this particular school year and this particular setup?
Siguro I'll go first na yung youngest, the 30-year-old will go first. Yung siguro yung gusto ko lang na sabihin sa inyo na parang hindi talaga natin alam saan tayo papunta, no? We don't know the exact steps. We don't know if what we're doing will really work. So, we have to be patient with ourselves. We have to learn how to laugh at ourselves. Kung napapansin niyo po kaming tatlo, pinagtatawanan lang namin yung aming mga kahinaan, yung aming mga limitations as teachers, considering that most of us are 18 years, 15 years into the teaching career already, no. So pero as teachers, no, bilang mga guro, ang suggestion ko lang is to really get in touch with your heart, no. Yung passion natin, tsaka yung pagmamahal natin dun sa learning, kasi that is what will see us through. Wala pong tama tsaka walang mali ngayon, kaya wag po tayong matakot magkamali. At this point, puro tama po yan. Kasi as long as we try our best and hindi na talaga namang pinag-isipan natin given the situation that we are in, wala pong mali at this point. No? So we have to build the better things to do. I won't say the wrong things we have to do. Kung ano po yung mas tama, follow our gut as teachers. Malakas po tayo dyan. Yung gut natin, yung voices, inner voices natin. Ngayon po natin, we have to draw from that. Ngayon po natin siya pakikinggan. Yung gut natin, tsaka yung sinasabi ng kalooban natin, kung paano tayo tutuloy, kung paano tayo. Given that, of course, we have to be aware and we have to accept and that we just have to embrace whatever is happening sa atin. Yun ang akin.
Ako naman siguro is that, we're in the noblest profession. So, I know that we are guided by our intention kung bakit natin ginagawa yung mga bagay. We're doing this for our students. We're doing this for our family. If your intention is just to be promoted or just to impress, or that will not lead you anywhere. No? Pero if your intention is for the good, okay, that will lead you to the right path. So, do not be hard on yourself. Allow yourself to make mistakes, because when we make mistakes, we grow as a person. Pero don't repeat the same mistake. So learn from it, and then Also, do not be the sole owner of knowledge. Share what you know, and if you don't know something, ask. Yeah, yun lang for me.
Thank you, Sir Dan. Coach Tin.
Siguro ako, si Dan dapat siya yung huli, di ba? Na-pressure tuloy ako.
Dapat mas magaling ka, magsasabi ka ng iba, ha? Hindi pwedeng, hindi mo kami pwede
Oo.
kopyahin.
I
Kaya
agree
sabihin
with
na
what
ako.
Je and Dan said. And siguro if there's one thing na na-realize natin lahat, and I claim that it's a shared experience again, no? Parang mas na-realize natin what we really value, no? In this 6 months na naka-quarantine tayo at nasa pandemic tayo, no? Parang mas gusto nating i-focus yung attention natin dun sa mga bagay na pinapahalagahan talaga natin sa buhay natin. And if we say that we value our family, we're very thankful that we're given that chance to be with our families, safe sa bahay natin, and we get to do our jobs here at home. We have our jobs that sustain our daily needs. I mean, these things are beautiful things, no? Na mapa surface natin amidst the difficulty, amidst the challenges. But I invite everyone to maybe parang check, parang evaluate what we value again in life. So, and we encourage everyone to respond to the situations you have now and the situations that you will be in the coming days, in the coming months, as we deal with this pandemic, to respond according to your values. If you value wellness, if you value life, let your reactions or let your responses be that. Diba? Show how much you love life, show how much you value your students, show how much you value wellness. That's all.
Tama.
Thank you.
Yan. So, again,
Dan,
Sorry.
magluto ka na, Dan. Magluto
Oo,
ka na.
malapit na. Yan. Ano na daw after having this particular conversation, this particular interactive discussion, I think many of our kaagapais have really imbibed that not only the learning but also that particular vibe. Sabi nga maraming nag-ano nga dito na yan, nag-enjoy sila sa pakikinig. So parang nawalan ng stress. So instead of them not only learning, it's also a way for them to distress. Ayan. So thank you kay Ma'am Je, kay Coach Tin, kay Sir Dan. And hopefully they have shared, their experiences, their expertise will be not only of use as we start our school year for the public school teachers, but also for us as we continue our mission to help our students, to be there for our students, and to give the best education that we can have. So again, from the bottom of our hearts, sa Agapay Group po, thank you po, Ms. Je, Coach Tin, Sir Dan, for giving us this very lively and interactive discussion. So just a reminder po sa mga kaagapay natin, our viewers, the link for the evaluation will be given after this webinar po. And there's another question. Yes, there's another webinar this afternoon, the continuation po of the series nung September, kasi nga po dahil dun sa nangyari sa PLDT, so we have to postpone that, and later by 2 p.m. yung about naman sa ating continuation. I think that is the communication. So 4C, so communication na po tayo for that. So we hope that we will be seeing you later for that next part of our webinar. So again, thank you, Sir Dan, Coach Din, Miss Je, and thank you all for watching. And
Sir
Thank
Angelo,
you.
in
Yes, so-
behalf of the three of us na ha, maraming salamat sa inyo ni Sir Franco. It's a good chance to catch up, to work
Yeah.
together. It's our pleasure. Alam niyo po sa mga kaagapay niyo lang, love na love namin si Angelo at saka si Franco. So please take care of each other and we will be right behind you in whatever you will need. No? So,
Ipag-grab na lang nila yung breakfast natin dapat kanina, no?
oo, at saka hindi
Alright.
ako nakapagluto ngayon. So bahala na kayo sa lunch namin. Ha?
Sir Franco, calling Sir Franco.
May nagsabi na, dapat daw may part 2 tong session na to, Franco and
Ayan,
Angelo.
Ayan, mukhang kailangan natin. So, I think, yun nga, talagang we try to put Miss Coach Tin, Sir Dan, kasi when we are working with them, talagang grabe ng energy, grabe ng interaction, grabe ng insight. So, I think, yan, mukhang magko-commit na yata sila for another session of
Gusto mo, yun na eh. Tuloy-tuloy na, huwag na tayo
Attend
mag-lunch.
na natin.
Ayan.
Marami
Dan
na
left.
Thank you,
sabihin eh, oh.
everyone. Happy
Dan left
birthday
the
to
group.
everyone.
Joke lang.
Sige.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, thank you,
po.
thank you.
Thank you. Ayan. So, again po, wait na lang po sa ating evaluation link later, and then have a good lunch after nourishing our spirits, nourishing our minds. It's time for us to nourish our selves or physical selves. So, lunch na po. So, hopefully po, baka in due time, we will have also that physical interaction where we can also have some eating bit after that po siguro. So, again, thank you mga kaagapay. So, evaluation links will be given at the end of the training, and then certificates will be sent via email 5 to 7 days. Pa-check lang po ng mga details para po hindi mawala yung inyong mga certificates. But again, good afternoon and have a great lunch po, everyone.